Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about act as if it's already yours. So if you want to manifest anything into your life, you have to realize that you attract what you are. You attract what you are, not what you think, okay, and not what you feel. You attract what you are, you attract what you become. So what you are is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So when all of those three things, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, are consumed with whatever it is that you want to manifest, that's when those things will begin to manifest, because you are then becoming that kind of person. You attract what you are. So if you want to attract success, you've got to think successfully. You've got to feel successful. You've got to take action that is making you become a success, okay? You're taking action in the 3D reality that we're in. So it's all about thoughts, feelings, and actions, okay? So for example, a confident male will be more likely better at attracting women, because he, not necessarily because of anything that he says or anything that he feels or thinks, but because he is this all-round confident being, and again, he feels confident around women, and he thinks confidently around women, and he acts confidently around women, then women are more attracted to him, because that is who he is. He's attracting what he is, okay? So, for example, as well, a woman with wealth creation in her mind and how she feels and how she acts will attract wealth. Because if she's solely focusing on wealth creation, okay, and she's feeling abundant and she's acting abundantly and she's taking action to create abundance and she's thinking of more and more ways how she can become wealthy, then she will begin to attract wealth, because it is a state of her being, okay, so it's part of who she is. So she's essentially changed her personality. So how then do we change who we are? Because that's what we want to do, right? So we want to act as if it's already ours. And the best way that we can do that is to change who we are. So we change our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, okay? So I've got a diagram here for you to sort of illustrate this, okay? So as you can see, let's say this is you. So you're made up of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And this is basically who you are, all these three things, okay? And all of these three things have to be in perfect alignment in order for you to attract whatever it is that you want, and in order to change. So the best way then to change, okay, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions is by practice and repetition. That's how you can change. So how to change is you practice and repeat the feelings, the thoughts, and the actions that person who wants to manifest whatever that thing is that you want to manifest is. Okay? So if you want to attract love, then your thoughts have to be, I can attract love. I am good looking. I am a catch. Your feelings, you feel confident. You feel sure of yourself. You trust that who is meant for you will stay. And your actions, you're taking real world action by going out on dates, by picking out nice clothes to wear on these dates, okay? And you're walking with confidence, you're walking with trust and knowingness, okay, that you're going to attract love. And for, let's say, for example, for wealth as well, let's say, how do you change that? Okay, so your thoughts have got to be about wealth creation. Okay, how can I create more money? How can I attract more money? Okay, and you've got to feel abundant. You've got to know and trust that this abundance is coming to you. And you've got to take action. So it could be setting up a savings account, or it could be you set up an investing account, or you're putting money by so you can buy like your first property that you want to rent out. You know, you're taking action. Your actions are in alignment with your thoughts and your feelings, okay? But the only way that there's no point just doing this once. You have to repeat it, okay? So you got to practice doing these things, feeling those things, and thinking those things, and you got to repeat it daily, every single day. You got to come back to those feelings. You got to come back to those thoughts. You got to keep on taking action that is in alignment with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So you got to practice and repeat it. Now, one of the best ways that you can do this is by, diving into Neville Goddard's teachings, basically, okay? And one of the best ways that you can start doing that is through meditation. Okay, so meditation is basically the practice of lowering your brainwave patterns so you can enter the subconscious mind and think and feel and how you would be if you were that person. You're in your pretend world, basically. You're acting as if in your mind when you're in a very, very relaxed state. Now, it might be a good idea to find a meditation that really aligns with you here on YouTube about that. I did a meditation a while back about creating miracles. Perhaps you want to go and watch that one. But go and find a meditation. It doesn't have to be one that I made. It could be anywhere on the internet, and just find one that could easily help you think how you want to think, feel what you want to feel, and it helps you visualize how you want to act. So then when you open your eyes, you start feeling that way, you start thinking that way, and you start acting that way. Okay, and if you can do that often enough, and you can do that meditation daily, preferably, or before you go to sleep, then it's going to be much easier for you then to practice and repeat those states of thinking, feeling, and doing those actions. So you got to be able to visualize. You got to be able to visualize how you would think. You got to visualize how you would feel, and maybe even conjure up those emotions of how you would feel. And you got to visualize yourself taking the actions that new person would take. And you got to be able to repeat that process and keep on doing that in your mind. And the more often you do it in your mind, the more you'll start to actually be able to do that in your outer world. Okay, but don't wait for the meditation to inspire you to take action. Start taking those actions now, because the more you start trying to think how you want to think, feel how you want to feel, and act how you want to act in this 3D reality, and you practice it in this 3D reality, then the more likely it is that you're going to be able to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest within this 3D reality. Okay, so try out a meditation that can help you do that, but also take action. Do it in the physical world. To think, okay, so how would this ideal version of me think? How would this ideal version of me feel? What would they do? How would they behave? And then start living it, okay, and start practicing it. Now, it's not going to be easy, because you're going to want to go back to the old way of being multiple times a day, okay, and that's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. But the point is that you try and get a little bit better each and every day, even if it's just 1%. Okay, so if you're 1% more like the new person tomorrow, that's better than today. And after that, if you try and live your life like that 1% more, then you're going to be back on that path. You're going to be on the path to change. Even if you change just a little bit every single day, eventually you'll get to a place where you are acting as if 100% throughout the day, as if whatever it is that you want to manifest is already yours. And that is how you change your life. And that is how you change who you are. And that is how you can manifest whatever you want in this life, by changing who you are. And that's the process of change. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then you can go to www.christineloveridge.com. But it's not necessary for you to do so, because you can just come back to this video, or you can go and watch some more of my videos on this channel, which are basically about the same subjects. Okay, so thank you so much. Make sure you get this into practice, but I promise you, if you do that, you will get there eventually. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.